Alright guys, this is it. I'm Lee. The channel is Untapped Potential. This, Magic Duels, new game released today on Steam, is what we're here to do. I haven't done anything yet other than go into my settings and make sure all my resolution's right, get the sound volume lowered and all that good stuff. We are diving into this together. So what's the battle plan? First things first, we have to go into story mode and play as Kytheon Eora, the dude you see on the screen right here. We need to go through his story, which acts as the tutorial, which will unlock some gold and booster packs for us. We'll then build a deck, play against the AI, and then the sky's the limit. I won't beat around the bush anymore. Let's jump into it.
Is power. It has the capacity to create and destroy, manipulate and transform. It can
I'm so hyped
shatter
right
the
now.
very laws that govern each world.
I don't feel bad for talking over this because it's the official trailer, which I'm sure you can find on Wizards of the Coast YouTube channel. I'll make sure to link that in the description.
Yet for all their mastery over their craft,
Oh boy.
they are each bound to their own planes of reality, blind to the true vastness of the multiverse. But some mages
So what this game includes is it includes 5 story modes, one for each of the 5 planeswalkers in this set. Kytheon, the guy we're playing as first, he's one of them. So we're going to play through as Kytheon first, and I'm definitely going to do all the story modes at some point because they pay well in gold. But most of what I'm going to do here is playing against other players and doing the daily events and building decks. We'll be doing, I'll have 2 accounts actually. One, the one you're on right now, which will be my Let's Play account. I will never spend a dime on it. Every single card will be earned, free to play, and I'll do most of my recording on it. I will have another account, Untapped Potential, and on that one, yeah, I'm just going to buy all the cards so that I have access to them for deck construction, tutorials, and the like. But for right now, here we go. Like I said, this is Kytheon's story, but it's also the tutorial. As we play these skill quests, we will be earning gold, which we can later spend on booster packs to enhance our collection. Let's go. Alright, our training begins. Learn the basics of Magic Duels in these fun and rewarding skill quests. On one hand, it does bother me a little bit that these aren't skippable, because, you know, any Magic veterans are probably like, yes, I know how the cards work. But on the other hand, this is a program geared towards newer players, and also, I'm here to provide content, so why skip it? Alright, we're up against the training drone. Oh god, why is that my username? I need to change
Welcome to Magic Duels. You are a
Learning the
planeswalker,
battlefield.
a powerful mage, dueling across the myriad worlds of the multiverse.
Heck yeah.
Your story starts with these skill quests. Challenges designed to hone your skills and prepare you for combat.
Okay.
Each player starts with a shuffled deck of cards called a library. Your library contains the creatures and other spells you'll need to defeat your foe.
This woman has a much more melodious voice than I do. I feel bad for making her do all the work, though.
Each turn, you draw a card from your library into your hand. Only you can see the cards in your hand.
Indeed.
You win the game by reducing your opponent's life total from 20 to 0.
Oh yeah, we're gonna beat down.
Zoom in on any card by moving the cursor over it and scrolling the mouse. While zoomed in on a card, you can learn more about its abilities in the More Info box on the right. Zoom out by scrolling the mouse wheel down to complete this skill quest. Good job!
Oh,
You can
yes.
zoom in on cards anywhere to learn more about them.
Easiest 30 gold we'll ever make, folks. Alright, let's get on with this.
In this skill quest, you'll learn how to attack with your creatures to reduce your opponent's life total. A creature deals damage equal to its power, the first number in the lower right corner. When a creature attacks, it becomes tapped or turns sideways.
Trademark.
This shows it's been used for the turn. Your tapped cards will untap at the start of your turn.
Alright.
To complete this skill quest, finish off your opponent this turn.
Okay guys, this is gonna be tough.
For each creature you want to attack with, click and drag it to your opponent.
I was talking here.
You can attack with all your creatures by clicking Attack with All. After you've chosen which creatures to attack with, click Confirm Attack.
I was talking here. Very rude. Alright, we're going to do the click and drag method. 2 damage here, 2 damage here. I will tap that and confirm attack. And that joke is already old. We will not make it again. 2 damage. 4 damage. We won, guys! Well done.
Excellent. Attacking with your creatures is one of the surest ways to win. In the next skill quest, you'll learn how to defend yourself from your opponent's attacks.
Attacking with creatures is one of the surest ways to win. Yep, that is very, very sure. One might say that it's the way to win. Yes, I know you can win by milling your opponent out. Don't get pedantic. But it's the main way.
Your untapped creatures can block your opponent's attacking creatures. A blocked creature won't deal damage to you. Instead, it will deal damage to the creature that blocked it. And your creature will deal damage to the attacking creature.
Okay.
A creature to complete this skill quest, survive your opponent's turn, and then win the game on your turn.
Alright, guys. Okay, we're at 6 life. Our opponent has a 6/4 creature, and we have a 2/3 creature. Oh man, this is tough. Okay, so they said something about blocking right there.
To block an incoming attack, click and drag one of your creatures to the attacking creature you want to block. Once you've selected all the creatures you want to block with, click Confirm Block.
Okay, we've got 1 creature to block with. He has a 6-power creature and a 2-power creature, and we can only block 1. We only have 6 life, so I think the right play here is to block the big creature. We'll confirm our blocks, and let's hope we were right, guys. Okay, we take 2 damage from the warrior, but what about the big guy? Yay, our damage is prevented. Our creature dies a horrible death, but we aren't dead. Our opponent plays a land per turn.
Great job! By blocking the more dangerous creature, you survived the assault. Now it's your turn. First, play the land card you just drew. Playing more lands allows you to cast more powerful spells.
You know, I actually was about to gripe about the fact that my opponent played a land and confused me since I don't know what that is, but the computer just told me. Yay! I'm no longer confused. I understand.
Now attack and win the game.
Alright, I'm done being condescending to the AI. It doesn't care. We're gonna go ahead and confirm our attack here, do 5 damage to the training robot, beat it up, and maybe get on with the story. Alright, we won.
Excellent. Remember, only untapped creatures can block. Now that you've seen creatures attacking and blocking, let's find out how to summon them to the battlefield.
Oh man, we're gonna summon some creatures, guys. This is big stuff. I sure hope these tutorials are actually taking, because I really don't want to have to do this again.
To cast a spell, you need mana, the magical energy produced by your lands. Each of your lands produces 1 mana when it taps or turns sideways. Tapping shows a card's been used for the turn. To see a spell's mana cost, look in the top right corner of the card. For example, Elvish Warrior's mana cost is 2 green mana.
Alright. That seems pretty straightforward. We tap mana to put out creatures. More powerful creatures cost more mana, and thus we need more lands to do them as a balancing method.
To cast Lightning Elemental, you need 1 red mana. Your mountain produces that. You also need 3 other mana of any kind. Any lands can be tapped to produce this 3 mana. After you cast a creature spell, that creature goes to the battlefield.
Sorry about that crinkling sound in the background, guys. My cat's found a plastic bag. I'll go tend to that in a second. But in the meantime...
Creatures can't attack on the turn they're summoned.
Now let's learn about summoning sickness.
This is called summoning sickness, and it's indicated by a swirling effect. A creature with summoning sickness can still block incoming attacks.
And creatures with the ability called haste can attack
will start
anyway.
On your opponent's turn. To complete it, win the game on your next turn.
Okay, guys, here we go. So our opponent's playing another powerful creature. He's going to attack us with his 2 creatures that are not summoning sick, which means we're going to take 4 damage. Our creature's blocked,
your Elvish
which, as
Warrior
we've learned...
can't block this turn because it's tapped. The
Will
creature
you
your
please
opponent
let
just
me
summoned
finish?
Can't attack this turn, but it will be able to block on your next turn.
Oy vey. I'm trying to explain everything. The tutorial's doing my job for me. So we take 4 damage here. Okay. So now we untap, upkeep,
You can summon
draw.
creatures to the battlefield from your hand by casting creature spells. To cast a spell in your hand, click on it.
Okay, guys. So we have to win this turn. Our 2-3, which would be enough to win, will get blocked by his 2-3. So we need something else to get through. But it just so happens we have Lightning Elemental, the creature that it's telling me to play. And remember when the woman said haste before and I rudely cut her off? Well, creatures with haste can attack and ignore their summoning sickness, which means our Lightning Elemental, which we're going to cast now for all 4 of our mana, is going to hit the field. Thank you, I understand haste. So now we go to the combat step. Now both of our creatures can attack, and our opponent cannot block both. He'll block the 4-1 probably because it's bigger, but it won't be enough. Our elf will get through, and we'll win the match. Take that, robot. Yep, and the elf and the elemental trade,
done.
but it doesn't matter
All your
because we
tapped
won the
cards,
game.
including lands and creatures, will untap at the start of your next turn, ready to be used again.
Okay, guys, I think this is
For completing this
it.
skill quest, you've earned some coins. After you finish Gideon's campaign, you can spend coins in the store to purchase booster packs containing new cards for your collection.
Alright. Awesome. Well, we're just going to forge on ahead and hope. Fingers crossed, yeah? Okay, guys. Let's do Gideon. I'm not going to lie, I might actually cut all that training montage crap out. We'll find out. But in the meantime, let's start with the story of Kytheon Yora. Looks like we're going to be earning some gold as we go through this. This will be fun. Kytheon Yora. You lead a small group of street toughs known as Kytheon's Irregulars. Together, you act as a force of justice and charity in the slums. While raiding an Akroan estate for food, you draw the attention of the city guards. Okay, city guards have found us. We're sharing the bread. I think this is like the beginning of Aladdin, where we run from the guards while singing a jaunty tune. I'm tone deaf, so I'll spare you the singing. Instead, we'll sling some cards. Alright, learn what we have learned in that skill quest we did earlier to defeat our opponent. We're up against the guards, even though that picture only shows one of them. Okay, I don't need to know that again. Alright, it's suggesting that the first thing we should do is play a land for the turn. And that is the first thing you should do. Go ahead and get your mana up. If you have multiple colors, choose which one you want. Now, normally we might not be able to do anything on turn 1, but we have Elite Vanguard, who costs 1 mana, has 2 power, and 1 toughness. So we're going to go ahead and bring him to the battlefield. He's out, but summon sick this turn, meaning we cannot attack. Yes, we know. Which means we're just going to go ahead and pass the turn. Let's see what the guards get up to. He's also playing white mana. He plays a Plains, but he doesn't do anything on his first turn. So we have a chance to start beating down. We're going to go ahead and attack here. You'll notice that we do have the mana to cast a creature now, but we're not going to. We're going to wait until our post-combat main phase. You get one before and after combat. And generally, when playing against other players, it's a good idea to do everything at basically the last possible second, in case they have a removal spell or a blocker. You don't want to give them as little information as possible. We can run out a 2/2 here, which has less power, but more defense, toughness, which will make it able to take blows better, or we can play the Areska Swiftclaw, who has a lot of power but only 1 toughness. Still, we're trying to beat these guards down and escape, so it seems like speed is the name of the game. We're going to play the Swiftclaw and pass the turn. The Swiftclaw's extra power will also let us beat through anything our opponent plays to defend himself with, like this 2/2. Which means if you'd play something like a 1/3, we wouldn't be able to get through it with our 1 creature, but we could now. Okay, we go ahead and let our opponent's spell resolve. The game will stop here at points just in case we have a counterspell or something we'd like to do in response. Given that we are playing white mana, we don't usually have those, but if we were in blue, it'd be a real possibility. This match seems pretty straightforward. It looks like we're just going to be bruising and beating face the entire time. We're going to go ahead and send 5 damage at our opponent here, but there's a good bet that he's going to block. He does. He sends his 2-2 to intercept our 3-1. Something worth noting here, a difference between Paper Magic and this, is that in Paper Magic, during combat, all damage is dealt at the same time. Here, it's doing it sequentially, possibly just for our visual benefit. The computer may actually be doing the math all at the same time. It's a small but important distinction. We're going to go ahead and play the Glory Seeker here, and since we have enough mana to do both, we're also going to play our second Elite Vanguard. In Magic, you can play as many spells per turn as you can afford to cast using your mana, which means it can be as few as 0, and I've seen as many as, well, if we're counting the Storm mechanic, I've seen hundreds. But let's not count that. Multiples is not unheard of. Our opponent plays another 2-power, 2-toughness creature, like the one they played last turn. And we're going to let it go ahead. Our opponent is then going to play a 0-3 creature, which kind of makes me wish I'd saved my Swift Claw, because this will allow him to block one of our creatures every turn. He won't be able to kill it back, but he will prevent us from getting through with the damage to kill him. Fortunately, though, it seems that we've drawn an answer. Unfortunately also, it seems we have to play a game. So let's go ahead and do our skill quest here. This is going to explain the flying mechanic to us. Take it away, female voice.
Some creatures have flying, which lets them soar above the battlefield. Flying creatures can be blocked only by other flying creatures, or by creatures with reach. On defense, a creature with flying can block any attacking creature, either one with flying or one without.
Okay.
Creature cards have icons on the left side that indicate special abilities like flying. Complete this skill quest by surviving your opponent's assault and winning on your next turn.
Okay, I realize that the tutorial here is trying to give us simple cards, but this is kind of silly. They just explained to us that creatures with flying can block creatures without normally, and then for their example, they give us the Welkin turn, who can only block creatures with flying. You couldn't have given us a slightly better example that doesn't contradict yourself? An important thing that is a good point to bring up here, though, is the rules of Magic are the rules. However, if a card has an ability that would break the rules, do what the card says. So in this case, Welkin turn can only block creatures with flying. So be it. It looks like our opponent is on the offensive here. Offensive, he certainly is. Okay, there's the flying creature's tip. So now we have to assign our blockers. I guess we need to block his flyer with our flyer, and I guess we need to block his ground creature with our ground creature. But what about the other one? Welp, remember the reach mechanic that can block creatures with flying? Let's go. We'll confirm our blocks. Our turns will trade. Our spider will kill the turn. That creature will get killed, but leaving our warrior and our spider alive. And that's enough power to get through and win the game. It's kind of like throwing rocks at turns. We'll leave no turn unstoned. I attack now with the warrior and the itsy bitsy spider. We'll confirm attack, win the skill challenge, get some gold, and get back to flee from the guards with Kytheon. Oh,
Great
yeah.
work. White and blue decks
15
often
gold.
use flying creatures for an aerial assault that's hard to block.
As we were. Okay, so we begin our turn now. We're going to play a Plains. I'm pretty sure they want me to play my Eagle at the Watch, which will let me fly over the head of this new thorn that the enemy has put in my side. But remember, we discussed this, we do combat first. And again, I'm going to attack with everybody. I'm going to offer a trade, his 2-2 for probably my 2-2, His 0/3 will block one of my 2/1s, and both the creatures will live, and our final 2/1 will get through to do 2 more damage to the opponent's face. Exactly as planned. One thing I will say is you should not be afraid of trading, especially not early game. Aggressively trading to keep your opponent in line, especially if you're playing creatures and staying ahead of them. We're going to play the Eagle of the Watch here, to go ahead and get ahead. Yes, we know. One final thing about this is it also has the ability called Vigilance, which means even when I attack with this, it doesn't get tapped. We're probably about to learn all about it. We'll pass the turn. It appears our opponent either has a lot of land in their hand or something very expensive, because either way, they just bricked. They didn't get to do anything. We're going to continue. We're going to attack with our Eagle, who he cannot block. We're going to attack with our 2 ground creatures. And actually, yes, attacking with all probably would have been faster there. Thank you. And we're going to confirm our attacks. Once again, our opponent's probably going to block one of our 2/1s with the 0/3 just to stave off some damage. Which he does. Alright, we're in the second main step now, where we have enough mana to cast a second Glory Seeker and a second Oresco's Swift Claw. Both have resolved, we have a big wide field, and we're going to pass the turn. Our opponent does get their 5th land, however. But he doesn't seem to have anything to do with it. Oh yes he does, he's playing a Glory Seeker in the second main phase. Hey, the guard's been listening to me talking strategy. Get out of here, guys, this is my show. Alright, we draw another Eagle of the Watch, so let's go ahead and get in here. And let's use that attack with all button and save ourselves some time. Our opponent will probably trade the 2/2 for the 3/1, they'll block one of the other creatures with the 0/3, and we'll get in for 6 damage. There needs to be a skip all the combat things button, because I'm worried about pressing continue too many times and accidentally skipping my second main phase. We're going to play a second Eagle, which unless our opponent can mount one heck of a defense on his turn, we're going to win next turn by just swinging with all our creatures one more time. He plays another one of the Ambassadors, another 2/2, but at this point we have 4 damage flying in the air. If he doesn't get a flying defender of his own, we're going to run him over. Unfortunately, he doesn't have one. You know what to do, folks. We're going to combat, we're attacking with the whole team. Confirm the attack, and let's rake in the victories. Sorry, Crowing Guards, but you messed with the Irregulars. And you know what happens to people that mess with the Irregulars. And let's knock them as low as they can go. Alright, we defeated the Crowing Guard, and we earned ourselves some gold. Heck yeah. Ooh. It appears that we got an achievement. 2 of them, in fact. We got the Steamrolled achievement, reducing their life total to 10 or less before our 5th turn. We also got Frenzied, which means we attacked with every creature until we won. Hey, yeah. And Kytheon got stronger. That'll come in useful for game 2. You fight your way out of the hideout, but you realize continued resistance will put your friends at risk. You lay down your weapons, and the guards haul you off to the dungeons. You are sentenced to 10 years for thievery. And we're you know, I think they're actually good right now. I think they're just flashing this up so that we don't get surprised later. That makes sense. Alright guys, that was round 1 of Kytheon's campaign. We'll be back in just a second with round 2. This is Lee with Untapped Potential. I'm having so much fun, and thanks for watching.